Hello friends, in this video I will discuss about the construction of an IC engine. So in this figure you can see this is the pictorial view of an IC engine. So this part is removed out of this cylinder. So actually this is the combustion chamber here, or you can say this is cylinder in which this piston is reciprocating. Okay, so you can see internal part of this engine, and these are the fins to transfer the heat effectively. Okay, and this piston is connected with this connecting rod by using this gusset pin. Okay, and the big end of this connecting rod is connected with the crank. Okay, and this crank is connected with the crankshaft. So you can see this part in the schematic diagram of this engine, and this is called the casing of this engine. So actually in this casing, lubricating oil is filled to lubricate the cylinder during the functioning. Okay, so this lubricating oil cooling the surface of the piston and cylinder, uh, mainly cylinder. So in this piston and cylinder arrangement, due to the high velocity, means linear motion of this piston, friction will be there. Due to the friction, temperature will be increased, and it is already high temperature due to the combustion of the fuel. That's why to reduce the means friction losses, we use to provide the lubricating. So this actually will form a film of the lubricating oil between the piston and the cylinder. Okay, so you can see in this figure, this is the connecting rod, and this is called small end of this connecting rod, which is connected with this piston, and this is the big end of this connecting rod. So this is actually connected with the crank. So you can see this is the connecting rod, and this connecting rod is connected with this crank. Okay, so this is actually crank, this one. Okay, and this one is crankshaft. Okay, so this piston is reciprocating TDC to BDC, BDC to TDC. Okay, so the reciprocating motion of this piston is converted in the rotary motion on this shaft. Okay, by the arrangement of this connecting rod, crank and crankshaft. So you can see here, when this piston will move, suppose this piston is moving vertically downward. Okay, so this connecting rod will push this crank. Okay, so this crank will rotate this crankshaft. Okay, so this is the crank which is connected with this crankshaft, and this connecting rod will go down. Okay, so this will rotate this crank. Okay, so due to motion of this piston, this crank connecting rod will push or pull this crank, and this reciprocating motion of this piston will be converted into the rotary motion at the crankshaft. Actually this is the crankshaft of this engine. Okay, so now we will discuss this schematic view of this IC engine. So actually this is the casing of this IC engine. Okay, and this is the cylinder. Okay, and this is the piston, this one. Okay, on this piston, this is piston ring grooves. Okay, you can see this in this actual photo, and this is the gusset pin here, you can see. And now I will start from the inlet valve. So actually this is inlet valve through which the air fuel mixture will be sucked through this and this is a spring. So actually this valve is spring loaded. Okay, when this valve is pushed, then this port will be opened, means connected with this combustion chamber. So air fuel mixture will be entered in this combustion chamber. So in case of petrol engine, air fuel mixture will be sucked in this combustion chamber, and in case of CI engine, compression ignition engine, only air is sucked. Okay, so this is actually inlet port, and this is inlet valve, and this is exhaust valve, this one. Okay, so this is exhaust valve and this is exhaust port. So this valve will be pushed, then this opening will be connected to the surroundings. Okay, and you can see this is the top dead center. So piston is reciprocating in this cylinder. Okay, so this piston can move bottom dead center to top dead center to bottom dead center. Okay, so this is the top position, means the last position to move in vertical upward direction of this piston, and this is the last position to go down in the vertically downward direction of this piston. So this is called bottom dead center and this is टॉप डेड सेंटर. तो यहाँ पे आके क्या होगा, जब ये पिस्टन ऊपर जा रहा होगा तो ये इस पोजीशन से ऊपर नहीं जा सकता, इसलिए इसको हम बोलते हैं टॉप डेड सेंटर. तो टॉप डायरेक्शन में जाने के लिए ये मैक्सिमम लिमिट होगी और बॉटम डायरेक्शन में जाने के लिए ये मैक्सिमम लिमिट होगी. देन इट इज कॉल्ड बॉटम डेड सेंटर. ओके, और ये पिस्टन बॉटम डेड सेंटर टू टॉप डेड सेंटर, टॉप डेड सेंटर टू बॉटम डेड सेंटर रेसिप्रोकेट कर रहा है. सो दिस इज रेसिप्रोकेटिंग बिटवीन TDC टू BDC, मीन्स टॉप डेड सेंटर टू बॉटम डेड सेंटर. तो इस डिस्टेंस को हम बोलते हैं स्ट्रोक लेंथ. ओके, दिस इज कॉल्ड स्ट्रोक लेंथ. और इस पिस्टन के मूवमेंट से जो वॉल्यूम डिस्प्लेस हो रहा है, द वॉल्यूम डिस्प्लेस्ड ड्यूरिंग दिस मूवमेंट ऑफ दिस पिस्टन इज कॉल्ड डिस्प्लेसमेंट वॉल्यूम, और वी कैन से दिस इज स्वेप्ट वॉल्यूम. इसको हम स्वेप्ट वॉल्यूम भी बोलते हैं और डिस्प्लेसमेंट वॉल्यूम भी बोलते हैं. और ये कहां से कहां तक होगा, TDC टू BDC. ओके, तो स्ट्रोक लेंथ में जो भी वॉल्यूम डिस्प्लेस्ड होगा उसको हम बोलते हैं डिस्प्लेसमेंट वॉल्यूम और स्वेप्ट वॉल्यूम. और पिस्टन के ऊपर जो स्पेस है वो जो वॉल्यूम होगा उसको हम बोलते हैं क्लियरेंस वॉल्यूम. सो क्लियरेंस वॉल्यूम इज in the above location of the piston. Okay, so this volume is called clearance volume, and the volume displaced during this piston is called swept volume. Okay, so here we can say this is bottom dead center. Now we will talk about the connecting rod. So actually this is connecting rod which is connecting this piston to the crank. So this is actually crank, and this is crank pin. Okay, so this is the big end of the connecting rod, this one. Okay, and this is the small end of this connecting rod. Okay, so this connecting rod is further connected with this crank. Okay, so this is the crank. So this is crank pin and this is called crankshaft. Okay, so you can see when this piston is moving vertically downward, so this connecting rod is pushing this crank at this point, and this point is pin jointed. Okay, so this will form a link, so this will rotate this crank. Okay, like this. Okay, when this piston will move in the upward direction, so this crank will be in this location. Okay, so the reciprocating motion of this piston will be converted in the rotary motion at the crankshaft. Okay, so this is the connecting rod, crank and the crankshaft arrangement with this piston. So this piston is actually reciprocating by the combustion getting the power from the combustion of fuel, and this reciprocating motion is converted into the rotary motion. So this is our main objective, to get the rotation of the crankshaft. Okay, so this is the crankshaft, you can see in this figure. Okay, so there are four pistons in this arrangement. So this is the crankshaft, and four pistons are connected with this crankshaft. Okay, so now we will talk about the casing. So actually this is the casing. In this casing, lubricating oil is filled. Okay, so when this connecting rod will go down, so this will splash the oil, so this will be go in the upward direction. Okay, and this oil is lubricating the cylinder wall. So actually here we can say we can use direct cylinder, or we can use liners. So actually we will prefer the liners, because the piston is reciprocating in this cylinder. So due to motion, the friction will be created. Okay, to minimize this friction, we will provide lubrication. This is the cylinder head. Okay, so this upper portion of this cylinder is called cylinder head. Okay, and this is cooling fins, you can see in this actual figure. So around the cylinder we provide these fins. So the functioning of this means purpose of these fins is to transfer the heat of this cylinder efficiently, means fast heat transfer should be there. So to increase the contact surface of this cylinder with the surrounding air, we will use these fins. So this should be good conducting material of this fins. Okay, so these are the fins for the cooling of this cylinder or engine. Okay, and this is the piston, this is guzzle pin, we have already discussed in this figure. Okay, and this is connecting rod, this is cylinder, crankcase, and this is means crank pin. So this is the crank pin which is connecting this connecting rod and crank. Okay, and this is lubricating oil. Okay, in this figure we can see this is the piston ring. Okay, this one. So actually this is not closed circular, this is open at the end, and this will be adjustable. So when we will insert it, so this end will be connected with this end. Okay, so this is the piston pin. Okay, and this is piston. So piston groove will be there to place these piston rings. So these piston rings will be placed on that place. Okay, so groove similar to the thickness of this piston ring will be there. So some part will be over to this piston. Okay, so why we need the piston rings? Actually the cost of the piston is higher as compared to the piston rings. So due to the movement of the piston in the cylinder, so piston will be weared. So we will use the piston rings. If we want to replace, then we can replace these piston rings timely. Okay, so this is the piston rings, and in the lower part it will be the lubricating ring. Okay, so this is actually some part of this arrangement. Spring washer, clamp screw, connecting rod, it is already we have discussed, and this is cap voltage. So when we connect this means connecting rod, so this part, lower part is separated after removing these nut and bolts. So this is connected with this upper part and lower part. Okay, so this is bearing here, so bearing will be provided there, and this is connecting rod cap, and these are nuts to bind this upper and lower part. Okay, so now we will talk about the crankshaft and the lubrication system. Okay, so you can see in this figure there are 4 cylinders. Okay, so these are having different angle. Okay, so the first cylinder and the last cylinder are having same angle of rotation, means crank angle, and these two, second and third, having different crank angle. So there is a 360-degree angle in one revolution. Okay, in one revolution, like this. Okay, this. Okay, so suppose this is starting from here. So in one stroke, if a piston is going down TDC to BDC, then this crank will be rotated from here to here, means 180-degree. Okay, again this piston is moving BDC to TDC, then this will move next 180. Okay, so this will be one revolution of this crankshaft. Okay, so here this piston and this piston is on the same crank angle. So suppose first and fourth piston are connected and at the TDC position. Okay, on that time this second third will be at the BDC position. तो इसमें क्या होगा, जब पहला और चौथा सिलेंडर TDC पोजीशन पे होगा, उस टाइम में दूसरा तीसरा आपका BDC पोजीशन पे होगा. ओके, जब ये पिस्टन BDC से TDC जाएंगे, जब पिस्टन दूसरा और तीसरा BDC से TDC जाएगा, means it will move from BDC to TDC. Then these two pistons, first and fourth, पहला और चौथा TDC to BDC आएगा. इस तरह से क्या होगा, इनमें जो भी पावर मिली है वो बैलेंस्ड होगी. ओके, क्योंकि हमारे 4 स्ट्रोक इंजन की बात करें तो 4 स्ट्रोक होते हैं. देयर आर 4 स्ट्रोक्स: सक्शन, कंप्रेशन, पावर स्ट्रोक एंड एग्जॉस्ट. ओके, तो हमको जो भी एनर्जी मीन्स पावर मिल रही है वो पावर स्ट्रोक से मिलेगी. ओके, और बाकी 3 जो स्ट्रोक होंगे उनमें हमें पावर देनी पड़ रही है. सपोज करो कि पावर स्ट्रोक में 4 किलोवाट एनर्जी मिली. ओके, सक्शन में 0.5 किलोवाट गई. ओके, कंप्रेशन में 1 किलोवाट गई. और एग्जॉस्ट में 0.25 किलोवाट गई. क्लियर? तो हमको 4 में से ये माइनस करना पड़ेगा. वी हैव टू डिडक्ट 0.5, 0.25 and 1 kilowatt. So remaining part will be our shaft work, shaft power. Okay, so we get power in one stroke out of these 4 strokes. Okay, so this is the arrangement of 4 cylinders in 4-cylinder engines. Okay, so this is actually the crank. This one, this is our crank, like this. Okay, so in figure you can see this part. Okay, so here the oiling drills are there, means holes are there to lubricate these parts. So actually bearings will be here, 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 here and here. Okay, so this is the moving part, so friction will be there. That's why to to reduce the friction we will lubricate these moving parts. Okay, so this is possible due to the providing small holes from this point to this point, 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 this to this and this to this. Okay, so oil, this is oil ridden thread. Okay, so this is the lubrication system of this crankshaft. Okay, so here you can see this is the valve operating system. So you can see in this figure, this is the inlet valve and this is outlet valve. So I have already discussed that. We will talk about these the functioning of these valves. So now we will discuss about these valves in this figure. Okay, so here you can see this is the cylinder. Okay, and in this cylinder this is our piston. Okay, suppose this is the inlet, this is inlet port. Okay, inlet port. So fuel air mixture is entering through this port and this is the spring loaded valve. Okay, this is spring. Okay, so here you can see this is intake, this is a valve. Okay, so when this valve will go down, okay, go down, so this will open this passes. Clear? So air fill mixture can enter in this combustion chamber. So this is actually spring loaded, that's why it will close this port continuously, but this will be operated by this rocker arm. Okay, so this rocker arm will push this valve vertically downward. Okay, and this will be open, this port will be open. Okay, so it's happening when we need to provide or supply the air fill mixture in this combustion chamber during the suction process. Okay, so how it is functioning? Actually, this is the cam shaft. This is cam shaft. Okay, and this is cam. Clear? This arrangement is cam. Okay, and this cam is mounted on this cam-shaft. Okay, so this is actually eccentric. When this will rotate, so this point, this slope will lift this cam follower. Okay, so when this will rotate, this will push or lift this cam follower. Okay, and this is pin jointed with this rocker arm. When this will go in upward direction, so this is pin jointed, so this will form a couple. Okay, so this will rotate this arm, and this arm will push this valve. Okay, so this is the function. Simply, this is the crankshaft, this is cam, this cam is lifting this push rod. Okay, and this push rod is connected with this rocker arm, and this end will be pushed in upward direction, then this end will be pushed in vertically downward direction, then this spring loaded valve will be pushed vertically downward. Due to pushing of this valve, this intake air fuel mixture will be entered in this combustion chamber. So this was the functioning of this valve mechanism. Okay, so this is actually extended view of this valve. So you can see here, this is the head, means this one. Okay, this is the head, and this is the spring retainer lee group, means this part. Okay, actually this is means opposite in this figure, and you can see this is the margin, between the cylinder valve and this seat. Okay, and this is actual view of this valve, you can see here. Okay, and this is the follower lift, this one, and this is the cam, and this is cam shaft. Okay, thanks for watching this video. All the best.